Welcome to sunny Arizona. It was 112 degrees yesterday. Those of you who are on the centigrade system, let's just say that's an incalculable number. Welcome. I love you all. Our family, our spiritual family. I know when I first started spirituality, practicing, I think it was 1967, I had heard that it's necessary to have a quiet mind, an empty mind. Hi. Hi. And I was so easily distracted by my mind. My meditation was shit. Like you get a quiet mind for 3 seconds. Then a thought would come in, a judgmental thought or any thought. So I practiced cutting down the thought as soon as it arose. Which means you have to see the thought as an object and take control of that object rather than to allow yourself being the subject of that thought. That means following the sequence of the thinking. Instead, you watch it as an object, a thought. And by systematically cutting down all thoughts, after a few months, I did obtain a mind that did not move. But it's a brute force method. Left my mind very heavy, very plodding. And I noticed I wasn't getting anywhere with this kind of empty mind. So I tried something else. And then I tried something else again. And then I tried something else. And one day, I decided, instead of trying to stop it, I should just look at it. Look at the contents that were spewing up. And I noticed there was an endless repetition of themes. I would think about how to build a building, how a train was made, something like that. And it was done purely as entertainment because I wasn't going to build a house. I wasn't going to fix a train. It's just that my idle mind was not easily tolerated by me. And that's when I made the discovery that not only are thoughts objects, the whole flow of thought is an object, the mind. Not only is a single thought empty of any meaning, but the entire process is just one of self-entertainment. So what I began doing then is ignoring the mind. Don't get trapped in the trains of thought. They're not saying anything to you that's really revelatory, that's worth learning. You're just entertaining yourself, occupying yourself with your mind the way you like. Maybe some of you listen to inner music. Some plan ahead of what we're going to do the next week. Or what are we going to have for supper? All day long, you can think of, what are we going to eat tonight for supper? But the realization is that the mind is only entertainment. Even if you're studying physics and you're not a physicist, it's entertainment. If you're studying spirituality, it's entertainment. You can't achieve anything with the mind. So after a while, I even stopped reading for a while. I know many of you have also done that. You see how useless reading is in attaining anything worthwhile. It's just more words. And then you learn to sit strongly, go to a Zen monastery or some other place where they practice group meditation. And your mind finally goes empty because of the strength of your sitting. And without the mind, there's no longer any concept of separation between the inner, inside the skin and the outside of the skin. And you have experiences of oneness. The universe is only one. There's no concept of self at that time either. So there's no separate self is another conclusion you can run to. But the mind is trivial. Another way to overcome the mind is by seeking out sensations. Investigate what your feet feel like from the inside, what your knees feel like, what your genitals feel like, what the tongue in your mouth feels like. And you can get so fascinated with watching your body instead of thoughts that you enter a world of feeling. And you begin seeing that there are depths to you that you never realized because you are caught in the mind and ideas in the mind. The mind is trivial. And when you get into feelings, they begin coming up. Feelings of depression, sadness, fear, jealousy. They plague you like crazy. They interfere with quiet-minded meditation until you realize that they too are objects. You're not really touched by them. And then you find out that that's the problem. You're not touched by feelings. You've been missing the whole world of feelings. As you explore your body from the inside, you may begin to feel energies. An easy way is to concentrate on your feet. Feel how they turn on the heat by doing that. And then there's a tingling. And you let this sensation expand over your whole body. Gradually, over a period of days or weeks, you realize that attention, or focusing your mind or your attention on a certain body part, will fill it with energy. And then you can play with it by imagining the energy in your hands. Imagine a heated ball in between. Imagine the energy passing from one hand to another. And soon you're on your way. The more energies you feel, the more excited you get because, wow, there's a whole world of energies that I missed. And you can experience all kinds of internal states. You can feel or see, even see energies in your body flowing in inner rivers of color and feeling. And some of the emotions can get very intense, like love. And you can explore love. And when you do, you feel wonderful inside. It's not even necessary to be requited, but it helps. It speeds up the process. As love expands throughout your body and your mind into your sense of presence, something happens. Like Ramana, you discover that you're not the body. You're not even your sense of presence. Your spirit. The mind is composed of spirit. The emotions are composed of spirit. And you see that almost everything you've lived by in the past has been controlled and formed by your mind and your ideas. But now if somebody asks you who you are, you have no idea. Because you know that that's just a question. It's just words. You can't find yourself as an object. You can't even find yourself as a subject. You can't find yourself. even though your mind tries to answer that question. And soon you don't care anymore about who or what you are. You just are. And then one day, inside of that spirit, in the area of your heart or your gut, you suddenly realize there's a feeling that's been there all the time, but you haven't been able to isolate it or recognize it or speak about it. It's what a lot of people, a lot of teachers call beingness, which is just a recognition that you're sentient. You're feeling, you're thinking, you're aware of your thinking. You're aware of your body, you're aware of motions, you're aware of the breath. And then you may jump to the conclusion that what you really are is awareness. But that's like just confining yourself in a new bubble, a bubble of concepts about awareness. And after resting that beingness for a while, you'll notice that one of the essential ingredients or characteristics of that beingness is happiness. So now when you wake up in the morning, assuming you're not going to go to work, you can just lie in bed and vegetate. Just feel your body, watch your mind, and sink into that beingness, which becomes increasingly happiness. Then there's one more step you take. You realize that you're none of all this. You're none of this existential stuff. Like the universe being born in the Big Bang, you come from nothing at all. And all of this life, this existence, these experiences are born out of nothingness. There's nothing you can hang your hat on. There's no concepts that explain it. And you don't care anymore about answering the questions that could be raised in your mind. What's the purpose of life? What's my direction in life? What am I supposed to do with myself? And instead, you just live and you accept whatever comes your way. You don't have to struggle thinking about what to do with your life. You're just doing it because you're not doing anything extraordinary. Chopping wood, carrying water. Just the everyday tasks can leave you so happy in that being that's within. So, you're not even the mind, you're not even happiness, you're not even beingness. There's perceiving taking place. That's perceiving beingness. But there's no subject perceiving it. There's just perceiving, just hearing, just seeing, just thinking. There's no one there that's watching this whole thing. But you can't express it. So you make up a story that you are that which is beyond the manifest world and the manifest self. You create a dichotomy. And that one that is nothingness is immortal and never changes. That's another story. You've entertained yourself. But even that, after a while, loses its value. You throw the Krishnamurti books away. You throw the Esmond books away. You throw the Osho books away. Because you know they're just talking. It has no real value, the talking. It's an attempt to teach you about who you are. But you realize words can't touch your real existence. You can give a word for it, beingness. But beingness doesn't really touch, the word beingness doesn't touch beingness. Beingness is silent and sweet and happy. And you know you're not even that. You're either all these levels of self or none. It makes no difference. You're either everything or nothing. It makes no difference. You're through with the mind and thoughts. And you just chop wood and carry water. And maybe have an occasional ice cream. And you're always happy. Happy, happy, happy. Not that problems don't arise. Not that sadness doesn't arise. Not that anxiety doesn't arise. But like your mind, you know they're not you. They don't grab you. Whatever you are. No matter how much you search for a self, there's nothing there within existence, within the perceivable world. So you construct an imperceivable world, the noumenal world, the thing in itself. And you say, that's the real me. Then you realize you made another mistake. You got trapped in your own concepts about noumenal world, the hidden world, the subjective world. The subjective world that perceives perceptions. So you become like the Zen master that awakened every morning and looked in the mirror and said to himself, don't be fooled today. And then he answered, I won't. There's a koan that depicts the simplicity of the complexity of life. It's all in the questions you ask. It's contained in the questions you ask. Goethe had a student who watched Goethe every day. And whenever he was asked a question, he'd lift one finger. Do you want to take your place again? Okay. The student began doing the same thing whenever asked a question. He'd lift one finger. And one day he asked the student a question, such as, who are you, or what the fuck's the meaning of life? And the student raised one finger. And allegedly, Goethe grabbed his hand and cut that finger off with a knife. So the question becomes, for Zen students for hundreds and thousands of years, what's the meaning of Goethe's one finger Zen? I was given that koan by Maizumi Roshi, and I struggled with it for a long time. Imagine trying to ask the meaning of Goethe's one finger Zen. You know that words are not an answer. You can't come up with a clever verbal solution, like it's yourself or it's nothingness. You have to go beyond the mind and just wait for intuition to hit. I still couldn't get it. Then one day, another Zen teacher told me the answer. And he said, the answer is sometimes this, sometimes this, sometimes this, sometimes this. Really, in a sense, meaning that the answer to what's bothering you or any problems or questions that come in life are created by mind. And that everything is changing. Changing. Situations change. The mind changes. Concepts change. Spiritual experiences change. And when it's all said and done, you find there's nothing there. And it allows you to rest more easily in your beingness without thought, without effort. What would you do if you didn't have your mind to play with? I used to think that I'd be like an animal. Nothing evolved. No spiritual attainment. I'd be like a happy dog. And I could conceive of that as being the end of the spiritual path, which is shut the fuck up Become dumb as a rock and enjoy your soup, or enjoy doing nothing. Enjoy being stupid. What do you want? Can you imagine what it would feel like to not think, to not care about thinking, to not be consumed by thinking? What life would be like? Not to worry about examinations, theses, dissertations, homework, work projects for the next few days. Instead, just be so much more aware of everything. Be aware of everything in your body, aware of your own happiness, aware of emotions very sharply when they rise, and learning how to become one with the feelings that arise and explore them very thoroughly. It's really hard not to be busy with the mind at first. You have to come to the place that you feel or understand that the mind is nothing. All your self-talk all day long is entertainment, and you can't be without the entertainment. And why is that? What will you feel? What will you hear? What will you say if you're not using your mind? And then you realize it's really very easy. You say that it comes into your mind. You feel everything. It's just that you don't take the mind seriously anymore. And who's going to die? The body dies, yeah, but so what? There's no person that dies. There's no subject or object that dies. Consciousness doesn't die, it just disappears. It appears when you wake up in the morning and disappears when you go to sleep at night. But what makes us fear is the death of the body, that we're never going to come back again as consciousness. And we've been so attached to our consciousness and to our body our entire life that it scares us. The end.